So I'm worried about Doom Eternal. So people have been asking me what my thoughts on Doom Eternal is, and I think the main reason people are asking is because I was very critical towards Doom 2016 pre-release, and then it turned out I really liked the game. So let's do some backstory on that first. At E3 2015, I did a live reaction video to the Doom 2016 gameplay reveal, and I did some follow-up videos as well, all of which were heavily critical of the game. Now, when the game did release a couple of months later, in spring of 2016, it turned out to be a really good game. And I have since revisited the old footage and stuff like that, and I stand by my criticisms, because it was not that my criticisms were off point, it was that it was the stuff that was fixed in the final game. Things like the yellow filter looking really ugly, that was taken out of the game. The original imp design was really bad, that was fixed by the end. The glory kills were much faster in the final game, so it didn't disrupt gameplay and didn't feel like some Duke Nukem style boss execution thing all the time. Sometimes it still did though. So like, some of my complaints were properly tackled, so to say, and I think that improved the game in the end. And Doom Eternal has been a bit different, because my issues with Doom Eternal started before Doom Eternal had been revealed. In December of 2016, ZeniMax, or rather id Software through ZeniMax, posted a job listing for a monetization designer, basically. Someone to design microtransactions, loot boxes, premium currency, that kind of thing, for future games of the Doom and Quake series. Now, this was before Quake Champions was announced, and it was obvious when Quake Champions was announced that that was going to be one of the games this person would be working with, obviously. And that game did indeed have loot boxes, microtransactions, and premium currencies. Loot boxes have been phased out now, they have a season pass instead, because that's the acceptable form of loot boxes now. And Quake Champions is just a big mess of microtransactions. Whether you like the gameplay or not, I love the gameplay. I think it's a really good shooter, but the monetization is just no, thank you. And that was like, but that was one thing. That was Quake. What were they going to do with Doom? And then was it E3 or QuakeCon? I think it was QuakeCon that had the gameplay reveal. QuakeCon 2018. I believe that's when they showed it off first. They showed off gameplay for Doom Eternal, and it instantly hit me how they're going to be monetizing this game. Because they introduced like invasion system in the campaign where players can invade other players, and that no doubt can have a bunch of customization and other things that you might want to unlock, and you're probably gonna end up leveling up your demons and stuff like that you invade with. So like, there's there's ripe potential there for monetization. And of course they revealed their game would have skins, like classic Doom skins and all these things. Which, by the way, the classic Doom Marine skin in Doom Eternal is literally just the classic Doom skin from Quake Champions lifted from that game and put into Doom Eternal. It's the same model. That's amazing. And that's obviously also going to be ripe with ways to monetize the game. And, you know, at first I was like, well, Doom 2016 had a really good unlock system for the multiplayer. There was no monetization at all there, apart from buying the DLC that added like maps and stuff, and those were made free later anyway. The way customization worked in Doom 2016 was every time you leveled up, which you couldn't boost in any way, you got random loot, so basically a loot box, but like you couldn't buy more of it, and you couldn't like boost your way to more stuff. Like, it was just every player got random stuff all the time to keep customizing their character in various ways. And it was really cool, actually. The only really bad thing was that some weapons were locked to higher levels. You couldn't start with like the super shotgun and stuff like that. That was complete bullshit. But you got past that pretty quickly, because I mean, you leveled even if you didn't win fights. Now, I didn't like the Doom 2016 multiplayer, but I thought that customization was really, really good. And I have a feeling they won't be doing that this time because of, you know, monetization being a key factor in games now. Recurrent user spending, as they call it. But I was like, well, maybe they won't do it for every id title. But then, you know, Wolfenstein Youngblood came out, and that has XP boosters and stuff. Pretty much every game Bethesda puts out now has some sort of microtransaction put into them. So my first worry about Doom Eternal was that it was going to just be picked apart by the publisher to allow for recurrent user spending and just various ways to, you know, prey on players to make them spend even more money on this highly successful game, and that's no good. I'm not liking that, and we haven't had any specifics on this monetization scheme and how it will be working in Doom Eternal if it's there. And the lack of saying anything about it tells me it's gonna be bad. Alright, but then the gameplay reveal happened, alright? And the evasion system, I mentioned the evasion system. That looks pretty cool. They said it was optional, which is good. Now, I've been playing Code Vein, which is a Dark Souls-like, and Dark Souls-likes are famous for having like the invasion, where players can invade other players and fuck things up for them. And I could see that being a fun thing, at least when we're playing the Doom campaign, like that could be worthwhile. So that won't be there at launch, because Doom Eternal was delayed from its November 20th release date to March 20th next year. Now, delays are fine. I'm all for delays. Delays tend to make games better, they tend to make them more of a polished, finished product, they're good. But the nature of the delay is interesting, because first of all, it's at the end of March, which is a very competitive area, and it is a very competitive area specifically because it's the end of the fiscal year. That tells me that Bethesda told id, you cannot go past this fiscal year. We've already told our investors that Doom Eternal will release this fiscal year, which means that you cannot enter April. You can't delay it further than March. Which, you know, they wouldn't say that if id wouldn't want to delay further than March. Now, that's speculation on my part, but the fact that the invasion mode won't be there at launch, invasion mode, the first new feature they showed off for the game over a year ago, won't be there at launch with the delay, that leaves me very worried. Like, what does that mean for the current state of the game if the first thing, like the first new feature you like revealed and we're proud of isn't ready for launch after delay? That's not good. Like, you should probably have a bigger delay then, right? So that worries me a lot. So yeah, that's not that great. There's also the reliance on nostalgia. Now, nostalgia has a value. Nostalgia has a big value. And nostalgia is good, and I don't think relying on nostalgia is inherently bad. Especially when reviving a franchise that's been gone for a while. Like, I think Doom 2016, having like the classic Baron of Hell, that's a good thing. That was a nice, like, revival of that design, and also had like the Doom 3 Hell Knight, so even Doom 3 fans like myself got like their, you know, nostalgia fuel there, and like that was fine. And you know, we haven't seen Doom in a while, so it was fun to see it again. But you need to balance nostalgia with original ideas to keep it, you know, good. And Doom 2016 did this. It did this really well. I would say it edged a bit too much on the nostalgia side, but overall it didn't hurt the game. Like, it was fine. Doom Eternal, like, just seems to be going all out on this. It's like, look, the classic Cyber Demon. Look, the classic Plasma Rifle. Look, the classic Archvile. And it's like, look, classic Doom Marine skin. And it's like, okay, I get it. People like the original Doom, but show more original stuff. I want to see original stuff. Now, there is original stuff. You have the Demonic Slayer, which is, you know, the fact that you are half, like, becoming more demonically possessed, that's interesting. You seem to be going to, like, heaven, or at least some sort of non-hell place to fight non-demons. That's completely new territory for Doom, although not new territory for games, exactly. Like, that's really cool. You have a grappling hook attached to your shotgun, for some reason. I feel like they could have attached that to your suit, but, you know, fair enough. Like, and the Doom Hunter is a completely new design. There is new designs there, but the reliance on nostalgia and what they are showing off worries me. Because they're not showing off much. They're not showing off much Doom Eternal at all. They show a lot of concept art. That doesn't really say much. They talk about, oh, we're building a Doom universe, not just a new game. What does that mean? Are you going to have a bunch of tie-in novels? Comics? Because you did that with Rage, and it bombed. And you were going to do that with Quake Champions, and I don't even know if those comics released. Then again, Quake Champions has been in paid beta for like 2 years now, so maybe those will come out when the game releases. Maybe they release and I didn't notice. Like, what does that mean? What does building a Doom universe mean right now? Does it mean that we're going to be seeing, you know, what? Like, I focus on, I don't know, when a developer says they're not just making a game, I get worried, because that can mean a lot of things, and they don't want to specify. And the fact that Doom Eternal has a year one pass suggests to me that it's going to be a games as service model, and they expect to be releasing, you know, new content throughout the year, and then another year, and then another year if things go well. They want this to be Destiny. And I played Destiny 2 yesterday, and it's a fine game, but I do not want Doom to be like Destiny 2. Of course, again, speculation, but that's the problem. They're not showing the game off. There's been so little, like, actual details on Doom Eternal and just showing the game as it is. And that alone worries me. What does that mean for the game? Is the game not in a very good state right now? Is that why you're not showing it? Is that why you're sort of like just hiding it between very short mini trailers and stuff like that? Like, is that not it? Is the game actually good? Then, well, how come it's not appearing at any show floors? How come it's not even like getting trailers and stuff much? Like, the game was supposed to be out a month from now, you know? And like, we've barely seen anything from it. And with the delay, sure, you have a few more months, but you better start telling me what's so good about Doom Eternal. I may be a slave to brand, but I don't have money to, like, actually buy games I don't think will be good, so you need to actually show me why the game will be good. I want the game to be good. I think what little they have shown looks good, gameplay-wise. I think what they've shown writing-wise is pretty bad, to be honest, but I wasn't super fond of the writing in Doom 2016. It was okay, but I felt like they didn't strike the balance between jokey jokes and telling a story as much as they should have. Like, I felt that the story that's there had a lot of potential. I thought Olivia Pierce was a really interesting villain that they just don't do anything with at the end. Like, she was a complete waste of time. Like, might as well just cut her completely and just don't bother trying to have a villain and a sympathetic backstory and stuff like that, because, like, it's not like you did anything with it. And Doom Eternal, I know even less about the story. Like, I know it's Hell on Earth, which, you know, cool. We haven't seen that since '94, so that's actually, like, really refreshing. Doom 4 was going to be Hell on Earth, but that Doom 4 was cancelled. So it's cool to finally see it again. And yeah, I don't know. But yeah, what little writing we've seen, I'm not super fond. Like, there was that really, really cringe-worthy joke in the E3, no, the QuakeCon reveal from last year, where, like, the UAC like administrative voice referred to demons as mortally challenged or something like that. It's like, Earth is a melting pot of culture, and remember, the word demon can be offensive. Please use mortally challenged. And it's like, ha 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 ha, political correctness language. That's a joke.
Remember, demon can be an offensive term. Refer to them as mortally challenged.
People thought I was like, I tweeted about that back when it happened. People thought I was like actually like offended or like that I wasn't going to buy the game because of that or something. No, I thought it was a really, really lame joke that just did not at all land, and just instead felt awkward and punching downwards. Like, not everything has to be about wanting to cancel something. It was just a bad joke. And it was a bad joke. It was a really bad joke. I hope it's taken out of the final game because it was terrible. So what do I like about Doom Eternal? It's Doom. I like Doom. You get to blow up demons with a shotgun, and you have a hook shot now, or a grappling hook, and you can pull yourself forward. That's cool. I don't know. I don't know anything about Doom Eternal. I've seen everything there is to see about it, and yet I know nothing about it. Like, the idea of going to heaven and fighting angels, if that is what they're implying we're doing with the concept art, I'm not sure, because they will not tell us. That is cool. Like, yeah, we've done that in Diablo, we've done that in fucking Final Fantasy XIV now. We did it in so many games, but it's still always cool to link hell and heaven as two distinct places. I'm all for that. It's seriously awesome. Don't even know if that's what we're doing. Don't know. So yeah, that's why I'm worried about Doom Eternal. Oh yeah, I'm also kind of bummed about the Switch version of Doom Eternal being pushed forward indefinitely, because like Doom and Wolfenstein dropping on Switch was like a huge thing. It was like, cool, id Software validates Nintendo again, and it sold really well, so I'm like, oh, that sucks. That sucks a lot. I also like that they moved Doom 64's re-release date forward to March 20th. Like, wait, you need to delay Doom 64 as well? That game was finished in 97! But yeah. Yeah, that's basically it. That's my thoughts on Doom Eternal. I hope it will be good. I just wish that they would give me reason to believe it will be. I love this cup. Side note, I watched Doom Annihilation, the new Doom movie, last week. I liked it. Like, it wasn't brilliant, but like, it was a low budget B movie, direct to video. It was clearly made by people who really liked the original Doom games. Like, it's actually a retelling of the original Doom. Like, it's sort of like a shortcutted version of it. Like, they skip Deimos to go directly to Phobos, for example. But like, no, they clearly did their homework. Like, they knew what they were doing. Like, it's just a fun little B-movie schlock with some demons and zombies, and I can dig that. I also spoke a bit with the director, actually, and he was really cool. I would actually not mind if they made a sequel. Like, if they do get to make a sequel based on Doom 2, and it has a bit of a bigger budget to allow for, you know, more Doom-esque battles, because that was like the big thing that was missing, was that the combat, the action did not feel like Doom, but like the budget just didn't allow it. So I understand why. Like, Universal just shat this out to keep the license. But hey, I enjoyed it, and that's neat. I enjoyed it more than, like... I just realized I haven't watched a lot of movies this year. I was going to, like, say better than some of the movies this year, and I haven't watched many movies this year. But I enjoyed it.